Now today I'm going to be going through how to get every new 1.18 item in Minecraft. So let's start off with the two new items. So there literally is only two new items that were added that are now obtainable in 1.18 in comparison to 1.17. So we've got this, which is a new music disc, which is The Otherside by Lena Raine. Now if you don't know what song this is, I'm going to be linking the song in the description below, so you can always go check that out. And also now you can obtain the Spore Blossom. So now where do you find this music disc? First you can find it inside a stronghold, so let's wait for it to load in, and like this. So if you go into a stronghold and you just find a stronghold chest, you should be able to find the music disc. And it's not too rare, it's probably as rare as finding like ender pearls and stuff like that inside these chests. There's also one more other location you can find it. Now you can also find them inside dungeon chests. Now I found that this is really rare, like it took me 10 attempts of finding a dungeon chest just to find this disc. But if I go to this dungeon, and inside this dungeon, you'll see that the music disc is here. So now this took me 10 different dungeons just to find it, so it's really rare. I think it's even rarer than the other music discs. Even though 1.18 doesn't add really too many items, it adds new ways to get some of the old items in 1.17. Because in 1.17, getting some of the old items is quite difficult, but now they've made it 10 times easier to get some of these items. So if we go over here, and I'm going to be showing you how to get all these different items in the new 1.18 version. So if I go to this swamp area over here, now what you'll be looking for is one of these trees. This is an azalea tree. So you'll need to just walk around your world, and if you find an azalea tree, then you're in the right place. So once you find this azalea tree, you're going to want to dig down. So I'm going to be doing it safely, which I advise you do too. So if I dig down, and as you can see, we have found the Lush caves. This is where you can find all these new items, so the glowberries, the moss blocks, all that sort of stuff, all in here, and also this lovely little Spore Blossom. So that's how you can find all of these items here. You can even find the azaleas as well. This is also another great way of obtaining clay blocks as well, which are quite hard to get. So now if you're lucky, you might be able to find a little water area here, so like a water pool, and you'll be able to find these guys, which are the drip leaves. This is another way of getting just drip leaves in general. Now over here is a much better example. So this is a much larger Lush caves, and as you can see, we've got the small drip leaves. Now these ones are quite rare, and also they're quite annoying to get a lot of as well, because once you bone meal them, you can't get them back, which is quite sad really. Now if we go over here, as we can see, there's some dripstone here. So now I'm going to be showing you how to get dripstone, and this is like a new method of getting it quite easily. So if we teleport over here, here's what we can find: a dripstone cave. There's not really an easy way of finding these. You just find them while going mining. If you go strip mining at around Y20 or 10 or something, you might be able to find these dripstone caves. These dripstone caves can be humongous. Look at the size of this stalagmite. It's ginormous. And you can find tons of these, and this is a great way of getting these dripstone blocks. And this is a great way of getting enough dripstone for your lava farm. Even though I do advise being quite careful, because these things can do a bit of damage. Now also be careful, because drowns can spawn in this biome. Meaning that you want to be careful that it's not like a drowned with a trident trying to hit you, and it's not a very good combination with all these pointed dripstones doing damage to you while being hit by drowned. It's quite a dangerous combination, so be careful. So now if we go over here, this is sort of the mountain biome. So I've represented the mountain biome with all this, so you can now find calcite in stony peak biomes, which is really good because it's a good source of calcite, which is definitely the best block in the game in my opinion. Now if we go to a stony slopes biome, so now these biomes are better suited to like hotter climates, so like near jungles or near savannas, and that's where you're going to find them more commonly. But good thing about these is you can find emeralds on the surface, and you can also find other ores on the surface such as iron and also coal as well. And one of my favourite parts is you can find calcite on the surface. Like this is amazing. This is like so much calcite. Like you're in calcite heaven right here. Like this is beautiful. And you can also find these annoying guys, the goats, which make noise all the time. Well, if you have the screening variant, then they'll make tons of noise. You can also find these in the mountain biomes. Now in the more snowy mountains, you can find powdered snow. So now right next to the area where I'm doing this video, there's a giant mountain over here which I'm going to be showing you. And this is quite a snowy mountain. So this is the sort of mountain where you'd probably find like lots of snow, lots of ice, and maybe even some powdered snow. Now it took a bit of time to find an example, but over here there's some powdered snow. Now it's not too easy to tell which is normal snow and which is powdered. The easy way to tell normally for me is just by looking at this snow here. There's a snow layer on here, and right here there's no snow layer. You can also shift here and you won't go into this powdered snow. So if I go inside here, it's like quicksand, so you can't really escape it that easily, and you just fall down to your death. And this is quite a large quantity of powdered snow. This is probably at least like a stack worth or something, like 64 powdered snow or something like that. So it's a ton of powdered snow here. But you can also find goats in this biome too. And bees, oddly. I don't think this bee really came from this environment. Probably came from the lovely meadow biome, which is over here. Now next we're going to go on to meadows. Now meadow biomes will spawn kind of randomly really. I haven't really found too much of a pattern with them. I think they spawn in like higher terrain or something like that. And the good thing of these biomes is you can find bee nests in them. Pretty much every tree that spawns in this biome will have a bee nest. So this is not, I don't mean like trees that you spawn in with like a player, with like a sapling and stuff like that. Otherwise that'll make a really overpowered bee nest farm. And you can also make an alien farm as well. So now next I'm going to be showing you giant ore veins. So it took me quite a long time to find this one, but here's an iron and tough ore vein. So you know it's an ore vein because there's tons of iron ore just scattered around, and there's also tough here. Now if you're lucky, you should be able to find raw iron blocks. Okay, so over here there is a raw iron block. So these things are quite rare to find, like it took me quite a long time to find it, as you can see from that mini time lapse, but they do spawn here. So now onto the last two things, which is the bundle over there and also the sculk sensor. So now right now the sculk sensor is not obtainable at the moment in this version of the game, and it's not going to be obtainable at all in 1.18 full release, but it will be obtainable in 1.19. Which I'm kind of a bit sad about because I was quite excited for the sculk sensor, but I guess it's not coming out yet. And the only way you can obtain it is in creative mode, and what you have to do is you need to do /give, then your name, and then sculk sensor. The next thing that isn't obtainable is the bundle. Now sadly this item isn't being added to the game yet. You can still obtain it via the give command as well, but you can't craft it anymore. So I did try and craft it earlier and it didn't work. So now if you need any help with obtaining any of these new items, make sure to join my Discord server. I'll be able to help you there find these new items, or even if you're having any of the issues with these items, so any of them not working, you can also join my Discord server and I should be able to help you with that sort of stuff. Now make sure to leave a comment down below telling me your favourite new item. And also leave a comment down below whether you think the bundle should be added to 1.18 or not. What do you think? I think it should be, but some people might think otherwise. Some people probably think it's quite bad anyway. And I'll see you in the next video if you're going to watch any more of my videos. And goodbye.